my name's Eva Bloom and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be saying a big frick you to diet culture this January in resolution season, and instead sharing with you 5 different fat positive sex educators that you should be following. Before I jump into the video, I do want to share that this video is proudly sponsored by the sex toy cooperative Come As You Are, which is a Toronto-based, Canada-based, amazing, inclusive sex toy shop. They recently reopened their brick and mortar store. I will talk more about their recently opened brick and mortar store and all of the good stuff about them towards the end of the video, but they're super awesome. If you want to jump right into it, I have links in the description, but let's get on to the video. Every new year, every time January rolls around and people start making resolutions, diet culture comes out, ready to go, ready to get into our brains and convince us to make all sorts of resolutions that we probably don't need to make. And especially this year with quarantine and the pandemic and us being under a state of constant stress, being at home all the time, our bodies have likely changed, just like they change over the course of our life and all the time. But diet culture has taken this opportunity to make us feel really bad about ourselves, even though our changing body weight has nothing to do with our value as a human being and how awesome and hot and sexy we are. So I thought that I would combat that. Thought that maybe you might need some extra info to combat that and recommend some amazing sex educators that you should be following who provide really awesome fat positive content so you can do a little deprogramming and also just like revel in their magnificence, because these sex educators are awesome and you should be following them regardless. The first sex educator that I want to recommend is Dawn Sarah. Dawn uses she, her pronouns. Dawn is a bisexual pleasure activist and educator. She has created over 300 episodes of her podcast, Sex Gets Real. It is now retired. She's not currently making new episodes, but it's an incredible catalog of so much good sex advice and just really amazing fat positive sex ed content. She also runs a course all about pleasure and how to incorporate pleasure into your life and tackle shame. And she runs an amazing summit called the Explore More Summit, which talks about pleasure and embodiment, empowerment, health, wellness, a lot of really awesome stuff. The second amazing fat positive sex educator that you should check out is Sonali Rashawa. If you don't already know them, she's on Instagram at the Fat Sex Therapist. Sonali is a clinical social worker, a public speaker, community organizer, and sex therapist, obviously. She produces so much amazing content on Instagram. If you aren't already following them, please go do that. And if you are following them but don't see them so often because Instagram is racist and fatphobic, push to get notifications when they post. The third person that I would love to talk about uses the handle on Instagram transfatsex.edu. Nat uses they, he pronouns. They post so much great stuff over on Instagram about trans fat sexuality and liberation. It's really awesome. If you want even more content from him, you can check out the podcast he was on called Pleasurable Sounds. The next person you probably already know, but in case you don't, I will remind you, Erica Hart. Also, I Heart Erica on Instagram. Erica Hart is a sex educator, a public speaker, a racial and social justice educator, a model, a advocate around their experience as a breast cancer survivor. They post so much amazing stuff over on Instagram. They also run workshops on gender and racial and social justice, which you should definitely check out. She also has a podcast with her partner Ebony called Hood Rat to Head Rap. So much awesome content from Erica Hart. Last but certainly not least is a fellow Canadian sexuality professional, Dr. Ruthie. Dr. Ruthie is a prof, a coach, a researcher, a public speaker. I don't know how Ruthie does so many things, but they do. And they make most of their free content on Twitter, but they also run workshops and public speaking events talking about queer and trans sexuality, polyamory, kink, and fat sex. So go check them out. I hope this was a little bit of an antidote for you in terms of January's diet culture. Take this time to, instead of absorbing yourself in diet culture, take the time to learn a little bit about fat phobia and unlearn it in your brain, and support all of these amazing fat positive sex educators. Learn from them. Call out people in your life that are posting diet culture stuff. If you have the capacity to do that, shut that stuff right down. I'm so grateful that this video was sponsored by the amazing sex toy cooperative Come As You Are. I am a Canadian and Toronto-based person, and Come As You Are recently opened their brick and mortar store again. Come As You Are was the first ever sex toy store that I ever went into as a young person, and it makes me so happy that they're open. They're just doing curbside pickup right now, but definitely go check them out. You can use the code What's My Body Doing for 20% off your order on their website, linked in the description. But they're amazing. They're really an awesome cooperative, feminist, queer, and trans inclusive sex toy shop for every person, for whatever your needs are. So go check them out. But that is all for me today. Have a lovely day.